if you really want to speak directly, you can raise your hand. Also, I would love to know where you guys are from. So if you want to type in the chat where you guys are from, that would be great. It just, it's fun to see where everybody's tuning in from. All right, Heather, are you ready?
I am all set.
All right, take it away.
All righty, let me get my screen shared here and get started. First, I want to thank SCORE for always inviting me to speak on all things social media. I am extremely honored to do so. SCORE is a fantastic organization. You never know that I'm giving this commercial, but if you have not yet engaged with their other services or looked into getting a mentor for your business, I highly suggest that. Wonderful organization, great people. So thank you all for being here. Laura, thank you for monitoring. She's always so good about watching the chat and the Q&A section for me because all I can see is my screen. So she handles that for me and I appreciate that. So like Laura had said, today's presentation is all about Facebook and how using the F word can help you find your customers. So we're going to jump right in. And I usually like to start with setting expectations for social media because I think we hear so many things and people are like, yeah, I'm going to have a viral post. That would be lovely, but it's kind of a unicorn out there. So I really want to set your expectations for what you can do with social media and what it's not designed to do. So we start off with what social media isn't, right? It is not free. I know that we can post on all of the platforms at no cost. Yes, there are paid options, but it's still not free because if we're posting, we're taking our time, right? So it doesn't just miracle itself done. It's not super easy to create content. Just know that either you will hire someone to do your social media marketing for you, which will cost you money, or you will do it yourself, which will cost you time. And there's no right answer to that, right? It's whatever you prefer. And many times what budget dictates, right? We would all love to have, the professional doing our posting for us, but sometimes it's just not plausible in the budget. So just a heads up, social media is not free any way that you slice it. Next, it's not a flash in the pan. Even LinkedIn has been around for over 20 years. Social media isn't going anywhere. Will it evolve and change? Absolutely. Just about the time you get a platform figured out, right? Things change, buttons move, there's different functionality, not to get off on a tangent, but LinkedIn's getting ready to create paid opportunities for their company pages that they didn't have before. So things and the landscape will always change, but social media itself is definitely not going anywhere. So don't feel like I'm going to learn this and it's going to go away. I promise you it's not.
Hey, Heather.
Yes.
Heather, they're having a hard time. Like you sound a little muffled.
And I'm not sure. I'm not getting anything telling me um my internet is unstable and I have the microphone held to my mouth.
Yeah, it's a little echoey almost.
I don't normally do this. Let me try opening my door. I think maybe having my door shut has it kind of a vacuum in here. So let me try opening my office door. Hang on just a second. It doesn't usually get too crazy out there in the hallway. I do have a shared office. So is that any better? I have
It
tons
is.
of stuff here too. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Better?
Yep, it does sound better.
Okay, perfect. So apparently I just needed to not be an island to myself. Social media is also not a replacement for your sales team. This is another tool to help supplement what they do for you, right? So we don't want to fire our guy on the street, Joe, who's out, meeting people and, shaking the hands and kissing babies. We need those salespeople. This is just another tool to hopefully make their job a little bit easier and contribute to the overall effectiveness of your entire marketing plan, which leads us into social media is not your entire marketing strategy. As somebody who does this for a living, I hate to tell people that, but it's really not, right? So many things go into our marketing strategy, up to and including networking, It could be print advertising, direct mail, billboards, memberships in trade organizations. Those all come together to make up a marketing strategy. So please do not put all of your, marketing eggs in the social media basket, right? This is just another one of those cogs in the wheel to help you, get where you want to be from a marketing perspective. So here are just a couple of updated facts about Facebook. You need to know what you're walking into when you for this marketing platform, right? So Facebook is the most widely used social media platform. 3.05 billion monthly active users. Those aren't people that just have profiles. These are people who are actively using this on a monthly basis. 68.6% of monthly Facebook users are active every day. That is a huge number. So this is definitely, a platform that we want to use to help market our business. More than 200 million small businesses are already using Facebook pages to help market their business. And 20 million or 200 million can't be wrong, right? Facebook.com is the third most visited website in the world, behind Google, of course, and YouTube. Google because, well, it's Google and it has 92% market share of search, right? And YouTube because it is, the most popular video website, but it's also owned by YouTube, which helps it in the rankings, right? So Facebook is a close third. It's amazing and definitely not a tool that you want to overlook for your business. 19% of US consumers start their shopping search on Facebook. That is a huge deal, right? I don't know how many of you have, doesn't it seem so intuitive that all these ads that come up are tailored just for you? I literally sometimes swearing, darn you, Facebook. Why did you show me that? I don't want to buy it. It is super intuitive as a platform to show us exactly the kinds of content we want and exactly the purchasing options that we need. So just know they're watching and it's okay. More than 80% of people access Facebook on their phones. That's a big deal. That means they can do it all day long. I don't know about you guys now. I know I'm a special case because of what I do and being a social media specialist and, helping to post for people and helping them with their PR. I average 16 hours a day on my phone. And I can almost assure you, I am never more than 2 feet from my phone. And I don't think I'm in a huge minority. I mean, that's high. But as far as people go, we always have our phones around, right? Especially those of us that are parents or have aging aging parents that we need to, keep an eye on. We have our phones around us for various reasons, but when we do, and we're just sitting around watching, TV, we hop on our phones and just start scrolling. So just know, if you are on Facebook as a business, you are at people's fingertips 24/7. Just a quick look at a Facebook post to just kind of give us an overview, and I'm sure you guys have all been on there. A post will tell you who posted it, when it's been posted. But the one thing that I like to watch, number one, is engagement. How many people are liking, sharing, following, all that kind of good stuff. I watch all the demographics on there just to see how things are performing. So let's take a peek at a Facebook business page. Most of us, I'm sure, have our, our personal, page set up. And many of us may not have a business page yet, or we're not really sure, the mechanics of it. So let's take a quick peek. This happens to be mine. So you want to make sure that your header looks nice, tiny, it's sized correctly for the platform. I'm going to show you a tool later on that will help you do that very thing. Make sure you have an attractive, icon here. You want it to look really nice when people come to your page. There needs to be a way for them to contact you, right? Yes, if you own a Facebook page, there's generally an email on there, but this button makes it super simple and you can have it directed right to your website, which is wonderful. You want to make sure you have a well-written about section. People want to know what they've come across, right? This is also a place for you to put verbiage that can be picked up by Google and found. So make sure you're putting those keywords and search terms for your particular business vertical right here, right? You just want to let people know what you do and have it be an SEO tool for you when people are doing search in Google or another platform. Make sure your website is correct. Believe it or not, I have worked with clients and found out that not only do they spell their name incorrectly, meaning their business name, but they had the wrong web address for their website. So make sure that is correct. This will let you know how quickly a company responds when they receive a message. I always watch that to see how active or inactive a company is before I reach out to them if I have a question, just so I can set my expectation the right way. And I love when people reply within a few hours, right? That's a great, you don't need to do it within the first 5 minutes, but if you can do it fairly quickly, it only helps you get in front of more clients. And then make sure your email address is correct. I don't mind fielding questions from prospective clients or customers, so make sure they have a good way to reach you. And again, double check to see what your name looks like when it's out there on the streets for people to see. I have seen people that have it spelled incorrectly, so just make sure you've got it right. So this is key, right? Building your followers on Facebook. It's great to have a page. It can be the most wonderful page in the entire world. But at the end of the day, if you don't have any followers, you're basically that tree that fell in the woods, right? That does somebody hear it doesn't make a noise, that kind of thing. So we want to make sure we get followers, right? So where's the easiest place to start, right? We want to start with the low-hanging fruit. Our family, our friends, always invite them. I used to think, I don't know if they're really interested in what I have to do. You just don't know. You don't know what they may be interested in. You don't know if they want to help you build your business. So make sure you're asking. Kid contacts are great. Your kids' contacts, if they're in sports, if they, schoolmates, ask their parents if they will follow you. Church friends, your fellow business owners. Boy, you talk about people that understand trying to build your following, right? Make sure that you are putting the ask out there and getting those followers. It is imperative. The more eyeballs on your content, the better. I always get this question, and I always give a really good example of what not to do. So using Facebook Live can be a fun thing if it's appropriate and used correctly. To just go live for the sake of going live is 100% unacceptable. I will tell you, I am a big direct sales company fan, but I will tell you there is a lot of poor training for those who work for direct sales companies out there. I used to train folks that were in direct sales. And I will tell you, there is one company that challenged their, we'll call them representatives, sometimes it's consultants, sometimes we'll call them a representative, that challenged them to go live every day for 30 days. I just couldn't believe it. That was the worst advice I've ever heard. Because how many people have something so exciting to share every day for 30 days straight that they need to go live on Facebook? It was just awful. I'll be honest with you. It was irritating after about day 5. And by 30, I'm sure that this particular person was unfollowed by several of their followers. So just a heads up, going live when you have something special is fantastic. But much like a special section, remember those that used to be in the newspaper, special section. If you have one every day, there's absolutely nothing special about it. So just make sure you have a compelling reason to engage with your Facebook followers in a live. You can feel like this, right? If you sit through and oh, they went live, I better check out what they're doing. And then it's just another commercial for their business. Well, you know what Ralphie said, right? Absolutely. And you don't want anyone to have that opinion of your business or your brand. So opportunities to build your Facebook, make sure your button is on your website and that it works. Sometimes when I'm doing a social media audit for people and I'm checking that sort of thing, their button is broken and goes nowhere, or they haven't had it populated by their webmaster yet. So make sure you're linking to your website. Put it on your business cards. So many of us have a blank back on our cards. Pay just a little bit more and have all of your socials listed on the back of your card. That's a great opportunity to build followers on all the platforms. List it in your email signature. Absolutely free, right? And they can link right to your Facebook page. It's fabulous. If you need help setting up email signature, you can Google that. Very simple to put a link in there. Add it on the bottom of your letterhead. Yes, some of us are still using letterhead. You can put those socials on the bottom of your letterhead as well. Signage at your POS or cash wrap. This is for anyone. There ought to be at least one sign somewhere that tells everyone where to follow you, ask for Google recommendations, all that kind of thing. So there should be some kind of signage at your checkout or your point of service that people can connect with you so they can stay in touch with you and see what's new with your business. Invite your email subscribers. If you have an email list, make sure that you're inviting when you send out, your monthly e-blast or whatever that looks like. Make sure that you are, asking those folks who, already are receiving your communications, to follow you on other platforms, right? Post on your receipts. A lot of times those are blank, or you have something at the bottom that you can add those. Make sure you're putting it on your receipts. But here's the biggest one of all, right? Concentrate on your content. That is how you're not only going to build your following, but keep them, because we have to keep our prospects and our customers engaged if we expect to keep them as followers on any platform. Laura, do we have questions coming in, or are we good?
Well, there's a lot of, I guess, some people are having a really hard time hearing you. And then I do have a couple questions. So I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I'm not getting any. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It comes in and out with the echo. I don't know if the headset is, and then some people say they can hear you fine. Other people are saying they can hear you fine with their headphones on. Other people say they can't.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to, I'm literally holding my microphone right at my face. So, and we've never had quite this bad an issue unless you want me to go out and come back in, but that could take a while.
Yeah.
That would be up to you. If people can hear, and some people, I don't know how to address that.
Yeah, some people can hear you fine, so I don't know. All right, so question number one, what is the difference between a following button on a business page and a like button? It seems random to me on business pages.
It kind of is random. And you have a moniker for both, right? People that like you and people that follow you. It just depends on how they click on it. I'll be honest with you, I don't know why they need one versus the other. I always click like, because the term we use most. So I will tell you, I don't know. At one point I knew what the difference was, but I think it's become so kind of incestuous that I couldn't tell you the difference at this point. And I'm sorry, that's kind of not a great answer, but it's the one I have, unfortunately.
Okay, and then another question, is a QR code for Facebook better than having text?
I'm
not.
Okay, so it's not just me. So it depends on, where you're gonna have it. QR codes are great, but it depends on where you're gonna put it, right? For instance, in an email, I would think a link would be just as easy because they're already on something they can click through on. Just bear in mind, if you use a QR code and they're actually looking at your content on their phone, they can't use their phone to look at your QR code. So again, it depends on where. If you're sending on a mailer, I like QR codes because that draws attention. But again, it depends on the platform. So either one is great. If you've got a live link, that's wonderful. If you're sending an email through, either MailChimp, Constant Contact, something like that, I tend to use links, not QR codes. So it really depends on where you're, what you're sending and where you're probably getting.
All right, I think that's all for now.
Okay,
oh, wait. I'm sorry. Here's one. Oh, I got all kinds of things coming in. Would the like and follow have anything to do with them getting notification of posts?
So here's what used to be. I don't know that it's still true, and that algorithm in Facebook and Meta change all the time. Like was you had to be an active user, meaning you had to click on it, like it, and so you would show up right in their feed. But to me, the definition is a follower is more passive than a like. So to me, but the numbers are always close. Like I may have, I think you saw online, I had 600 some likes, 700 some follows. So I don't know, and a lot of those are the same people. So you can like and follow, which is crazy to me. But yeah, I don't know that it's going to make that big a difference in moving the needle. Just keep an eye on the numbers as a whole.
And then can you please explain the main purpose of boosting an event or post?
So I usually preface this when I start. Anything we talk about here today is absolutely non-paid social. I don't get into how to, boost, how to do Facebook ads. That's its own specialty, and you could take 3 days to talk about just that. So everything that we talk about today is just organic posting. So there's plenty of resources for you out there to kind of learn more about boosting posts and doing ads. We just don't talk about that here because it's kind of its own animal. Sorry about that. I know it's a great question, but there's plenty of resources out there to talk about that. This is just for the folks that want to use Facebook organically and are not ready to go into paid yet.
Okay,
All set?
all set.
All right. So what kinds of content do followers crave? And a lot of people, are like, great, I'm ready to post. I don't know what kinds of things to post. So we're going to get into that. And you want to give them the content they crave, right? So creative content, relevant content, attractive content, valuable content, and engaging content. And I think this last one is the one that we tend to forget as business owners because it's not about what we want to say. And we're always worried about, what do I need to say? What do I need to tell them? They need all the information. They don't. They need to have a conversation with you and your brand, right? It's called social media, not put out tons of content and hope for the best media. Social means it's an interaction, right? They need to be giving you fodder back for the information that you're providing. So we're going to talk about each one of these. So in being creative, this is one of my favorite quotes in the world. You either have to be first, best, or different. I'm here to promise you, you're never going to be the first person to market on Facebook. Best is subjective, right? My mom thinks I am the best social media specialist in the world. I'm sure your mom thinks you're the best, fill in the blank. We can always be different. And I love that this quote is by Loretta Lynn, and she was different herself. So content can be funny, right? If that's your vibe. Did this post for a client back when Schitt's Creek was like, the show to watch. And by the way, if you haven't seen it, it's great. But when they had little coasters made that said, tweet us on Facebook, I was dying watching it because of what I do. But people this really resonated with them. They got a lot of interaction on that because people love that show. They associated their brand with it and people thought it was cute. Enterprising. This is from back when, people were in lockdown with COVID. And this gal who owns a yarn and gift emporium here locally actually started mailing boxes to people because it was pivot to make things work, right? Thought that was very enterprising. Loved seeing the post, and she did really well. It did help her get through the pandemic. And interactive, right? Ask the question. Find out something. Tell people to post something. Pics of pets are always great. Pics of babies, that kind of thing. This one got a lot of feedback. If all the Disney princesses were competing in a steel cage match, which one would win and why? You don't think people chimed in? I did. I put in my vote for Belle, even though I know Mulan will probably win. But, Belle being the smart one. But I feel like I had to chime in, right? I loved it. Being relevant means timely. Means, and it says it's so much harder to be relevant than it is to be successful. It is difficult to be relevant. Said by Hannah. It's here for you too. And who doesn't remember this? Remember when old Bernie put on his mask and his mittens? I put this in a post for one of our local chambers, and it was the most populated, liked, shared, commented on post they had the entire year. So just taking something that was very timely and repurposing it for social media. Life events. We couldn't stop talking about COVID-19. We still talk about it, and we're not even in the throes of it. So making sure we're on top of current life events. And social response, right? Not many people can get behind not recycling, right? We're going to wreck the planet. We love it. No, talking about things that are socially responsible is a great way to not only gain followers, but keep them. Be attractive. And when I say attractive, like a magnet. So they attract the things that make them come true, right? Tony Robbins says. Just one second. I'm trying to get rid of a little pop-up here. Here we go. So this is what not to do. Use vertically oriented pics on Facebook. Facebook is horizontally set. You can also use square, but if you do vertical, you're going to get those ugly black bars on either side of your graphic, and you don't want that, right? So size things for the platform. I promise you, if you go with a 1080 by 1080 pixel post, it will fit on every platform, including Instagram, which is the sticky wicket, because that one is square, right? So 1080 by 1080. Don't use grainy or fuzzy images. Go find a different one, right? I have seen memes that I thought were great, and I just won't use them because they're too grainy. They need to look sharp. You want your brand to look sharp. So make sure you're finding images that are appropriate. And by the way, don't forget, you cannot right click on things and use them as your own. Many times they can be trademarked or copyrighted, and you don't even want to get into that mess. So you either create your own or you use a paid service to get your photos. So don't go out on Google, right click on something and think you can use it. I promise you they can track that. And some people put them out there just hoping that people will steal their graphics so they can come after them. So please don't do that. Don't use pre-made memes with typos. If something has a typo in it, do not use it. I promise you, it is not a good reflection on you or your brand. Do that. You are spell checking. Make sure that you check, recheck, and check again that everything is spelled correctly. So you don't want to use a meme that's got a typo in it. Using graphics with somebody else's branding or another website embedded in it or a different social tag, make sure that you go and look what those companies are. I've had a client who kind of stepped in it a little bit, who posted something that was, it was a link to a marijuana site. This was completely against their brand, right? Very conservative company. This is nothing they would have posted. They just didn't do their due diligence and they put something out. Nothing I scheduled because I would never, but they put something out and we had to do a little bit of, getting rid of the issue and making sure that, going forward, you don't use anything that you're not familiar with. Even completely innate sounding websites can be absolutely horrifying. I've also had people stumble across and type in something or do something that was typed in and it went to an adult website. Again, probably not something you want associated with your brand unless you are in that kind of a business vertical. So just be super careful what kinds of content that you're sharing with your clients because they assume this is all okay with you, okay? And it's very hard to fix that or address it after the damage has already been done. So just make sure you're doing your work and your due diligence up front. Be valuable. Try to be a person of success, or try not to be a person of success, but rather try to be a person of value. We all love coming across sites that offer us value, and that was from Albert Einstein. I think we can agree he knows some stuff. So be valuable, be beneficial. And again, this goes back a ways, but SCORE in Akron told people how they can get grants. That's a benefit, right? Telling somebody how they can get help during a time of need is fantastic. Profitable. Copley Township shared, here's a place to get a fellowship. That's fabulous. That's a great way to be a resource. You don't think people are going to keep checking back to see if you have any other information that you can share that will help them? Be helpful, right? When I do my posts, I always try and help folks. I know not everybody is my client, right? Again, we talked about that. Some people just don't have the budget to hire someone to do what I do, and I get that. I still want to help them, so I offer tidbits a lot of the times. Hey, you need to know the right sizes for each platform. There you go. Let me tell you exactly where to go. So I hope people keep coming back to see what kinds of tips that she offered. Who is she spotlighting? I put all kinds of helpful things out, hopefully to become that resource for the folks in my network. Be engaging. Build it and they will come only works in the movies. Social media is literally a build it, nurture it, engage them, and they may come and stay. Like that's the gamble we all take, right? So sorry, I have this bar at the top. I'm trying to move. There we go. So right over top of what I need to read, and that was said by Seth Godin. If anybody is in sales and marketing, I know that you've heard of Seth Godin, and he knows what he's talking about, right? Giveaways, fabulous. There's the caveat to that. The parameters for giveaways on Facebook and all the other social platforms are constantly changing. You need to keep on top of the rules and regulations because I promise you, you don't want to get in trouble with Meta and get thrown in Facebook jail, right? So just be careful. They're very effective when done correctly. Just make sure you're looking up those parameters. And by the way, they change and finding them can prove very, very difficult. Ask a question. That's engaging, right? If you could hack into any one computer, whose would it be? I did that post for an IT company. They don't want anybody to get hacked at all, but what a great question. Whose stuff would you want to see, right? They got a lot of response on that one. Post about events. People in your circle are looking for ways to network, especially if they're business professionals. So if you have something coming up, or something that people should know about, absolutely post that on your page. That should it's a great way for especially those in a business to business deal to help their fellow business people be more effective at what they do. Before we move on, Laura, did we have a question or are we good?
I have somebody that raised their hand. Rich, I asked you to unmute if you want to ask your question. Rich, do you have a question? All right, well, we'll address the question.
Rich might have wanted to grab a cup of coffee. It's all good. So I get this question a lot, and actually I can remember my mom asking me this, and I had to come up with a way to answer. Now, my mom is very young. She's 68, an avid Facebook user, not so much on the other platforms, but she does love Facebook. And she's like, what are these, the little symbols, the number symbol? I said, okay, those are hashtags. So this, for those who don't know what a hashtag is and why we use them, we're going to share that. So hashtags connect social media content to a specific topic, event, theme, or conversation. So basically a hashtag is a file folder, right? So everything that is a post that has the hashtag Glitter Girl Media is all stored in one file folder under that particular hashtag. You can actually index them and go in and search them in both LinkedIn and Instagram to see what kinds of content are populated at that particular hashtag, right? So for an example, if I looked up social media marketing, the hashtag, this is an old number, by the way, but it's probably pretty close. 634,000 people have posted with that hashtag. So all of that content is stored there. And if I felt like scrolling through all of it, I could probably do it. I've never tried it. But if there are 25 hashtags, much easier to get it through, right? So just to let you know, this is what they are, but why use them? How does that benefit me, right? Help you gain followers. I'm based in Akron, Ohio. Do not think sometimes I hashtag Akron. Of course, because I want people who are local to me to see me, to help build my brand visibility, my connectivity with the community, that kind of thing. It's a great way, so I'm getting hiccups, to gain followers, to increase engagement, right? If I am in with a bunch of like-minded people, the chances that someone will actually comment on my content has to go up exponentially, right? So great way to increase your engagement. Show support for social issues. Everybody remember back in like 2000, I'm gonna say 17 to 19, hashtag Me Too. That was a huge social movement, and people showed their support and their alliance by just using the hashtag Me Too. Add context to a post. This is the example I always give. I was walking through my house on a Monday morning, tripped over basically nothing, and spilled my coffee on the floor. First thing in the morning, right? And you're like, oh great, this is gonna set the tone for the day. So I took a picture of it, owned it, put it on Facebook and said, typical Monday, and hashtag bad hair day. That is not something that somebody's gonna look up. It's nothing they're gonna index. It just kind of gave context to the post that was like, yeah, this is how my day is going. So it just gave it a little bit of flavor. It's nothing that's going to do anything but just do that, right? And help a target audience find you. If you want to start doing business in a particular area, why not use hashtag whatever their area is? If I want to start building my clientele in Hilton Head, using the hashtag Hilton Head will probably help get me in front of that target audience, right? If you are a pet groomer, and you are, I'm going to go Instagram because this is a bigger page than on Facebook, or a bigger use than on Facebook. If I hashtag dogs of Instagram, you would not believe how many people actually look through all the posts on that particular hashtag. So helping to get in front of that target audience that is looking for your product or service, it's a great way to use hashtags. So at the end of the day, this all sounds great. Yes, I believe it. Facebook is wonderful. What kinds of things should I post, right? So here are the things you need to ask yourself. Is this post something that you would want to see? not that we're the, rulers of the universe, but would you find it interesting if you weren't you? Does this post speak to my audience? Might be a great post, but if it doesn't resonate with the folks that you're hoping to do business with, does it make sense on your business page? And in the same vein, is it on post, or is it your post on brand for your company? You don't want to post something that's so off the beam that people are thinking, why are they posting this? This isn't how they are. I love nothing more than when I follow a brand and know them so well that I can tell who put up the post without looking at the logo or looking to the left to see who posted it. It's just their vibe, right? I love that. And the biggest question is, will this kind of content make our followers want to read more of what we have to offer? That should always be a yes, right? You should not alienate. It shouldn't be boring. It should be engaging and, vibe that your company chooses to give off. So posts that convey your vibe, we talked about that. Do you want to be seen as friendly, creative? Many of us who have friends who are creators, that's their main thing, right? They want people to know they're a maker, that they, that they have an artistic flair. That's important. That you're knowledgeable, right? Every one of us should be striving in business to be the company that knows the most about whatever it is, that we offer, whether it be a product or a service. We all want to be knowledgeable. Some folks want to look hip. I'm probably not one of them, but that may be their big thing, right? Want to look hip. Make sure that that's the vibe that all of your posts convey. And philanthropic. I have clients that is probably half of the posts that they contract with me are putting out the good works that they do. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's definitely their corporate vibe, that they want to be known as the company that gives back. And that's fantastic. Your vibe can be any one of these. It can be any three of these. It can be anything. You just need to decide what that's going to be before you start trying to harvest content. Any one of us in business needs to be posting video. There's a reason I have it listed 3 times there. Social media posts that include video have 48% more views than those that don't. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to lose 50% of my followers, right? I want to be seen by 48% more people. So, by the way, video doesn't mean you have to be on video, because there are some of us, I do social media for a reason, right? I like to be behind the camera. You don't have to, it doesn't always have to be you talking. Now, we've all seen the people who love nothing more than to be in front of that camera. By the way, it doesn't necessarily mean they should be. When it's appropriate, that's great. But if I'm sitting there thinking, why am I seeing this person's face again? It's probably not effective for you, right? There's a reason. So some people can get away with it. That's part of their brand. Some people can't and keep trying to make it work. There's another, we're going to talk about this again, where you can actually make videos and you don't have to be in front of the camera. It's fabulous, but make sure you're using video. When people see that movement, it attracts an eye. That's why those posts have 48% more views, I promise you, because they stand out. Some people need ideas for video content. That's great, right? How about any new product you have that could be a video, right? Tell people whether, and by product, it could be service as well. If you have a new service you're offering, if you're an HVAC guy and you're now doing something with a new piece of equipment, that is a great way to incorporate video. Behind the scenes looks at what you do. I know a gal who owns a soap making company. I'm going to tell you what, watching her make soap, I watch it every time I come across her feed. Now, that might not be your thing, but I promise you, tons of people are watching that. I love watching nothing more on Facebook than people decorating cookies or doing, hair makeovers, ladies getting their nails done in a pretty way. Anything that I feel like is a, a nooks and crannies behind the scenes thing, I'm always paying attention. Special events, naturally. You're a nonprofit and you have, a fundraiser every year, that should absolutely be a lot of your video fodder for the year. If you're having an open house, if you, fill in the blank, anything can be a special event, and any special event can have video. Feature a new employee. Not only do you look like a great employer because you're making them feel welcome, but you're introducing your entire network to them and letting them know, hey, this is the new person who's there. You may see that. This is what they do. but it is a great way to welcome someone and a great way to let folks know this is just somebody else we have on staff. And then shout outs. We're going to talk about this. I love doing shout outs for other businesses. They really appreciate it, right? If you tag them, they get to see that you were thinking about them and wanted to feature them for all of your followers. But it's also a great way to become a hero to your circle, because if you offer up a great product or service that somebody else didn't know about, I promise you, they're going to remember where they heard it, right? They're going to remember, hey, she told me about that great bakery, that kind of thing, right? Socially conscious marketing has become more and more prevalent, and I think it's super important. Absolutely, people can talk about things like recycling. I don't know anybody who can't get behind it, right? Human rights, right? That's a big, big deal right now. Thin blue line. You want to show your solidarity with the police department. Posts are a great way to do it. Just remember, every time you post something socially conscious, you're always going to have people on the flip side, right? I'm going to say the only time I don't come across this is when it is anything to do with pets. Nobody wants to see pets get hurt, right? If they do, they're probably not what I would consider people. So I don't think that one is divisive, but some of these can be. And you need to know, if you post anything political or divisive, you're going to have voice on the other side. So just be aware of that. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just telling you to be aware and be ready to kind of weather that storm. Coming in, Laura, before I move on?
We do. So a couple questions on hashtags. Can you hashtag any post? Can you hashtag events? Good question.
Yeah, as long as it's a post, absolutely. Yeah, and many times I try and do a link, but sometimes a hashtag is fine. And by the way, many places, for instance, we have a women's networking group that I'm a part of. We have a specific hashtag for each event. So look somewhere, there's flyers on the table if there are programs, and many times they will tell you what the hashtag happens to be for that event. But yes, you should absolutely do that.
And then I love this question because on a personal level, I see lots of friends and family that have 800 hashtags. So what's the maximum number of hashtags on a single post that you should do so you don't look too needy or have a negative effect?
Okay, so here's what I'm going to tell you. The actual limit for hashtags is 30.
30?
Do not ever use 30. Just because you can doesn't mean that you should, right? I think they ought to just knock that down. I cannot think of a reason in this world that you need to use 30 hashtags on any post. None, right? The sweet spot that will keep you out of trouble, and by the way, sometimes when you use too many hashtags, you actually get penalized for that in the algorithm. So be aware of that. If you use between 5 and 8, you're safe. I like to be closer to the 5 end, but that's the sweet spot. So just because you can use 30, I mean, you've seen it. It's like bigger paragraphs than the content, right? And you're like, goodness, please. It's all right to use a bunch of hashtags. You don't have to use them all on one post, right? Your hashtags for each post should be different to some degree, right? So there's a zillion hashtags when I use things for social media. I don't use them all at one time, right? It's great to have a ton of spices in your spice rack, but you don't use them all at one time, right? So, use them sparingly. I promise it will glean better ROI on your posts to do just a couple and make them effective than just kind of throwing that spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. But great question. Because it used to, look, I'll be honest with you. They came out with hashtags and everybody was using them. I used 30. I put a space between mine and a paragraph to make it easier to read. It still was awful. So I learned, I went and did my due diligence and my research, and the sweet spot is 5 to 8.
Next question. It's nice to be able to repost and share other people's content on Facebook. Why can't you do that on Instagram?
I'm going to tell you, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know why they have chosen that. But I will say there's actually a Regram platform that you can actually do that. It's a pain. I would never do it, but you can actually do that. I don't know why, Zuck owns them both. I'm not sure why you can on one and not the other. It's the same reason that, you can do a link on Facebook, a live link to a website, and on Instagram you can't. So I don't know the answer to that. They didn't ask my opinion. I would make sure both of those things happen, but it's just the way things are. So I learned quickly, getting involved with social media, we are slaves to the rules that other people set. And that's okay, because most times we're using their platforms for free. But I agree with you. I don't like businesses to overshare because you need to be creating your own content. But it is something, if you see something really nice, or especially to help out another, like a nonprofit organization, I would love to be able to rebrand. So great point.
Let's see. What's the best way to collect emails from Facebook content?
So that would be more a paid option.
Okay.
There are, that can be one of the parameters that you set for Facebook ads is to collect info. If I'm getting emails, I usually like to do it. I offer, some kind of free platform, it could be a guide to, here are the 23 best tips for, using Facebook or using LinkedIn. You have to email me to ask for that. So that's how I do it. But to do it, as, trying to get them as a drip campaign, that's more a paid option. So I would look into that online.
Okay, last one that is posted at the moment. I don't know if you can answer this. Almost every time I post about politics, supporting military veterans legislation I receive doesn't meet community standards. Do you know what political information is allowed and what isn't? Is that
I
listed on
do
the
not.
website somewhere?
No,
No.
it's not. And what's also irritating, by the way, I've been thrown in Facebook jail on the regular, not for political stuff. I get thrown in because I tag so many people in things, but it's because we've had over 100 attendees at an event and I want to give a shout out. So it's strange. There are things that Facebook will kind of slap your ears back about. I will tell you right now, posting about military is going to do it almost every time. I don't know what, well, I have my own opinions on why, but I'm going to keep them to myself. But just know, even walking the line with that one, I don't think it's right. Well, again, they make the rules, right? We need to remember they make the rules. I don't think it's right to be able to take someone's content down without telling them exactly the reason, but they do. So I wish I could give you a great answer, but until they give us an answer, I can't answer it. They have
Yeah.
fact checkers and every other thing. It's just, one of the crosses we have to bear, unfortunately.
Here's a good question. What about adding hashtags on a separate comment instead of adding them at the end of the actual posting comment? Is that as effective or more discreet?
Definitely more discreet. I will be honest with you, I don't know how that affects the algorithm. I will tell you a whole lot less people are looking through the comments on the post than they are the actual, organic content. So it depends. I'd say try it and see if it makes a difference, right? That A/B testing is always the way, right? We don't know what's going to work until we try it. Sometimes it can work out great. Other times, it's crickets, and that's fine. We learn, we move on. So I would give it a whirl. I will tell you from my perspective, I'm scheduling everything ahead of time and I cannot schedule a comment. So for me, I'm going to leave it in the regular section. If you're posting organically, you've got that opportunity.
All right.
All set?
We're all caught up.
All right, perfect. So this is an example of a social post. My friend Fadia, who owns this company, always gives military and first responders a discount. It's her way of giving back, and I think it's a great social post. So just a heads up there. Put the spotlight on other organizations, and I cannot stress enough how important this is. If you have business partners that you work with that, kind of work with the same clients but don't compete for your dollars, that's a great person to put, the spotlight on. Nonprofit organizations, if you agree with their mission and vision, the best thing you can do for a not-for-profit is tell other people about it. You just never know if you're going to be in front of one of their very best volunteers or donors. And other local small businesses, right? If I go somewhere and I get great service or a fantastic product or someone has helped me, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to sit down and give them some kind of a post to try and help them. The more we can help each other, the more effective we're all going to be in that social. So here are just some examples. This is my friend Max. We were in a Goldman Sachs 10,000 small businesses class together. He came to my rescue. I'm even outside of his service area, but he's such a good guy. He wanted to help me out. So I wanted to help him out. I put a shout out to those in my network and just said, hey, you need this kind of a service and you're in this area, talk to my friend Max. And he loved it. You know, I took just a few minutes to talk about him and his business and put the link and all that kind of good stuff. So just a heads up. Also, here's one for our local pet rescue, which I love, and I got my beloved cat Nico from. So I am always, if they are in need of something, I will put it out to my network just to let people know, hey, they're in need. And you may not know about this organization, but they're doing great things here in the community. Very easy to do. Literally takes a few minutes, but I promise you it makes an impact. And every time I post, One of a Kind always likes it and asks about Nico. So again, it's a conversation, right? It's us getting people involved and, you know, being part of the community. More questions come in, Laura?
Oh, sorry, guys. Can you share a resource to help you if your Facebook account gets suspended for review? Oh,
There is no other resource than waiting on Facebook to hash it out. I will tell you, I just got an email from one of my constituents yesterday. He said, look, I'm having all these issues with Meta. And I'm like, yeah, me too. Unfortunately, there's not. The problem is we can't get to talk to people, right? We don't get to plead our case. It's all done via online. And again, Facebook is, you know, the one leading the charge. So I wish I had a great resource for you, but if you find one, please, you guys let me know. There just isn't one.
this question, my daughters, who are millennials, typically take a Facebook break in January of each year. It's for their personal Facebook pages, but if companies rely on Facebook to attract candidates or sell products, they're losing customers. Suggestions?
Okay, so here's what I'm going to tell you. No one should be solely reliant on any platform. Ask the people on OnlyFans who rely on this as their only income. You are completely at the mercy of somebody else. And by the way, all social media are arrows pointing people to your website. That's all social media is. They are not supposed to convert. It is not, you know, it's not even supposed to be a sales tool per se. It is something that leads you to the next step, and that is to click through and go to the website. 2 reasons why, right? You are in 100% control of the website. You dictate what's on it, right? It's not somebody else. It's not an algorithm. It's you. And number 2, guess who's not on your website? All of your competitors that have pages on Facebook. You want to get them to where you are in control. You are never going to be in control of your Facebook page. Mark Zuckerberg could decide tomorrow that you're not entitled to have a page and it'll be gone. So do not put all of your eggs, Russell. We talked about this in the beginning. It's only a piece. You cannot put all of your faith in social media because you just never know. Does anybody remember the 2 outages on Facebook and Instagram for hours and hours and hours? Nothing we could do to control it. And I had to reassure all of my clients, hey, we're riding the storm out together because there's nothing we can do. And it was fine. I mean, they knew it was nothing I had done. But they also learned you cannot rely on this. So I will tell you, make sure you are converting, getting people to your website, getting their information while they're on your website so that you can market to them direct. Just don't be a slave to social media platforms. Of them. I live my life this way. This is what I do. I am 100% dependent in my position on social media platforms working the right way. And I'm going to tell you, that is a scary thing. Now, it's been great. And they want people like me helping to populate, so it's a wonderful thing. But just be careful.
One more question. How do you differentiate or manage your personal page versus business page?
Well, it is what it is, right? They are church and state. So you're going to make sure you're posting all of your business content on your business page and keep your personal stuff on your personal page. That doesn't mean that people can't see both. And that also doesn't mean that the content couldn't be the same. But you need to make sure that you have your business hat on when you are managing your business page. I will just tell you, keep those two things as separate as you can. Because a lot of times, I have things on my personal page that there's no way I would share on my business page. Not that they're inappropriate, they just happen to be inappropriate for a company page, right? So, hopefully we're behaving like good girls and boys while we're on Facebook, regardless of what platform, which account we're on. But I like to keep those things completely separate.
Here's a good one. Let's see. How do you allow patrons to check in when visiting your establishment?
That's on their end. I think all of us get to check in whenever we go anywhere. They actually just have to go in and do it. So it's nothing that you're allowing. It's something that Facebook allows if somebody walks into your business. So there's nothing on you.
Is Facebook the right platform for all kinds of businesses? What about high-end jewelry? Would it be better on Pinterest or Instagram? Any suggestions?
So high-end jewelry should definitely there's not a business that I can think of today that shouldn't be on Facebook. Doesn't mean it's the most effective platform. But again, what did we talk about at the beginning? The third busiest website in the world. I don't think that's one you want to overlook, right? I don't care what business you're in. I'll be honest with you. My business is on Facebook. I don't get a lot of business from it, but it's another place for Google to find my content. So it's another search platform. And B, I'm not writing content just for Facebook. I can put it across every platform, but in a B2B field, Facebook is not my go-to. I'm definitely doing better on LinkedIn, but yes, you should absolutely be there. You can do a little bit of research on that, but yeah, I don't know of anybody who should only be on one platform. So you have to decide which one you're going to get really good at first, and then add the other ones. Do not start up 6 accounts and try and manage them all at one time without having the expertise to do that. It can be mind-boggling and frustrating, and you'll just quit doing it all. So start with one platform. I always tell everybody Facebook is fairly user-friendly. Start with that one and then add, right? You don't need to open up, all the cans of worms at one time.
Do you have any suggestions? This question's about like the business isn't showing up as a location to check in. There's a business page, they have Instagram. Do you know of any other tactics to get them so that they can tag their business location when you start to type it in?
Yeah, if they want, that one's kind of involved. If they want to email me, they're going to have my info at the end. I know we're getting close to time, so if it's personal questions like that, please email me. I'm happy to try and answer. If not, I can always point you in the right direction and find somewhere that's a resource for you. So if it's something personal to your business, just save those, and Laura's going to provide, the presentation at the end, and my info will be at the end as well. So you can email me directly. Happy to answer.
All right, everybody.
All right. So this is a great question too. When's the best time to post? The big secret? The best time to post is when your target market is active on Facebook, right? We want to be there. I promise you, if you are posting and your clientele are teachers, during the school day is not the best time to post, right? So it really depends on your particular target market. Here's what people will tell you. Best time to post Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Great. I'm interested in the worst time to post. And on Facebook, it's weekends and weekdays after 5 p.m. It seems counterintuitive to me because a lot of us are on there, but I always go with the worst times. During the day always works best for me because my clients are looking for business stuff during the day. So it really depends on your business vertical and your target market. How often should I post? This is a great question. Hold on, let me take a sip. I'm getting a little bit dry. Hang on just a second. Okay. So to help determine this, you actually should do a social media audit. Either do one yourself, have someone like me do them for you to find out how often should I be posting, what kinds of content, what are my competitors doing, what hashtags are they using, all that kind of stuff. When I do an audit, it usually takes me about 10 to 12 hours. Take some time, right? Because conceivably, you're looking at your business and at least 3 other businesses to get a good cross section and all of the, content there, what are the reactions, all that kind of good stuff. But I will say the big secret is you should post as often as your market will bear, right? Shoot for, I'm not saying you do this every week because I don't. Shoot for 1 post daily, Monday through Friday. I'm guessing if you're shooting for that, you're gonna get that 2 to 3 times per week because, well, to be honest, we get busy. And I think that's a great start. Go for quality versus quantity. It is not about, I need to post 5 times this week. Great. What are you gonna post 5 times about? So just be careful that you're looking and putting up content as opposed to, oh, I need to say this and I need to talk 5 times a week. And keep an eye on your results. See what works for you. I will tell you, I did an audit for a gal who owned a resale shop, consignment shop, and one of her competitors, I can't even make this up, posted an average, and this is going back a ways, an average of 27 times per day. I cannot fathom any company that is interesting enough to post 27 times per day and that it resonated with their clientele. Here's what I'll tell you. That particular business had over 30,000 followers, and every post was getting a maximum of 1 to 2 likes because it was like opening a fire hose on your clientele. So just watch and see what works for you. If you're getting great, interaction at 2 to 3 times per week, and at 5 it kind of drops off, then you got to pare back a little bit, right? But to do that, you have to keep an eye on the results. How do I get all this done? Sounds great, Heather. Love it. I want to do all this. How can I actually get it done? I maintain you need to create a schedule and automate. Get everything posted at one time for the month in your third-party posting program and let it ride. Now, of course, if you have organic content that's really good come up in the middle, you can always add, right? You can always add 1 more. But just make sure you got that stock standard, whatever it is, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 per week already scheduled. Here are some scheduling platforms that you can use to do that. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. If they are free, I'm sure there are parameters on how far out you can post, how many posts you can do per month, how many platforms, all that kind of good stuff. But these are a great place to start. Here's the tool we talked about earlier. If you do graphics and you're not using Canva and you're not a graphic artist who's using another platform, I implore you to check out Canva. I do not get any kickbacks from Canva. They do not give me my membership for free for talking about them. It is just such an integral tool to my business that I love singing their praises. And I always say, I'm giving out Canva tattoos, I'm getting them. That's how much I love this platform. There is a free version that you can use. Now, me, if I'm doing graphics, I want all the bells and whistles. I want every picture they have available. I want their AI tools. I want every template. For that, I literally pay $119 per year. It is the money that I love spending more than any other dollar the entire year. If you're not using Canva, check it out, right? If you have a team, up to 5 people that will be using this tool, it's only $300 per year. That is only $60 per seat for the year, and that is fabulous. And if you're a nonprofit organization, you can get Canva Pro for free. You literally only have to fill out 1 form. It's awesome. So check out Canva. Here's just a couple of examples. There's Instagram posts, story sizing, Facebook posts, videos. I mean, anything you could want in a graphics program is in here. You can make your own t-shirts, have them printed and sent to you. It is awesome. I actually do classes on teaching people how to use Canva more effectively because it is incredible. So make sure you check out that too. We ran a few minutes over. I will say I will take questions if people want to stay on. I implore you, connect with me. I love to have virtual coffee with my fellow business owners. So if you would like to, we can set up a date to talk on Zoom about your particular business. And here are all of my socials because you can't just, walk the walk without talking the talk. So if you would follow me, that'd be great. You'll find lots of social media posts on there about tips and tricks to make social media a more integral and easy part of your marketing program.
All right, let's see.
All right.
Any questions here? Sorry, I was scanning them. Oh, I have a friend that was leading a nonprofit and got to 2,000 followers on Facebook. Shut her down. Shut down her personal page. She lost Messenger and access to nonprofit. Oh yeah, she said, I agree with you. Facebook is a rented space versus website is owned. I agree with the speaker.
Oh, yeah, we only get to use it because they let us, and I know that's horrible, but it's the deal, right? So,
So here's a question. How long does a Facebook post last? A few hours, a day, question mark. So it's not like Snapchat, Facebook.
so here's the deal. In a feed, it depends on the person reading it, right? So I'm giving an example. If I have, 1,000 people that I'm connected with, my Facebook feed is gonna move a whole lot faster than my mom that's connected with like 20, right? So stuff on her page will appear visible for much longer than it will on my page. I have to scroll back a whole long way. So, content on any platform is flagged as old after a certain amount of time. Even paid ads on Facebook are flagged as old after 4 days. So I love when people say, I did a 2-week, campaign. Great, it's flagged as old. Usually throwing money at it. Again, I know about paid, I just don't talk about it because most small businesses don't have the bandwidth to do paid. And I'll be honest with you, unless you're throwing a lot of money at it, it doesn't tend to move the needle. Doesn't mean you can't, it just means it doesn't tend to. So I know the answer, it depends, is awful, but it really does depend. So it can stay fresh for people that are in the feed who have not a lot of followers a whole lot longer than it would for someone that does. So there's not a right, wrong answer for that. It doesn't disappear like, something on Snap, if that's what you're asking. It stays there. It's just a matter of how accessible is it to those that are followers.
What's your assessment of Meta's posting calendar automation?
Not a fan. I gotta tell you, again, I don't like leaving that to chance. I don't enjoy having to use a third party. But again, how many places can we be, right? All at one time. So conceivably, I tell people if you're going to go to the big four, you totally should. And by the way, we have classes on every one of these: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and your Google Business profile. You really want to go into 4 different places and post the same content, or you want to do it from one place and have it populate to all 4. So I can't do that just through Meta. That's why I'm not a fan. But you also have to remember, I'm managing over 200 accounts. So going through Meta would be, enough to make me pull my hair out. People can do it. I prefer to use my own third party where I'm in control and there's no jail. That's just me.
Do you feel that all this material applies to mental health clinicians as well?
I'm gonna say, yeah. Mental health clinicians still need to be marketing, right? So I would say this applies to any business looking to market in the social media space. So yes, it does. Is it going to be applied in the same way? No, but that's the case for any business, right? We're all going to apply this knowledge completely differently based on our business vertical, our target market, and our expertise level, right? Some people are going to just be naturals at, I know it's put on social and it resonates, and I've seen people that are just awesome at it. Others of us have to really work at it. Yes, I think it applies to mental health clinicians. It's just that you're going to have to figure out your niche and how you use it.
I think we're winding down. Is there a good link or info on how to get Facebook campaigns set up for conversions? I believe she.
Are you talking about like a drip campaign? Again, that would be paid. So I don't know. I'd always tell people if you're looking at, learning, check out Coursera or Udemy. And that's udemy.com or Coursera, Coursesa.com. There are plenty of classes on there. Some of them are no charge. Some of them are just a couple of dollars, but if there's a particular topic that you want to learn more on, those two are great places to start.
All right. What was the name of that link again? I think your voice cut out for part of it.
Oh, I'm
And I-
sorry. There's Udemy, which is udemy.com, or Coursera, COURSERA.com. Both are online training courses.
Awesome. Oh, thank you, Karina, for writing those down. She's shared.
I'm still on my screen, so I can't get in there.
All right, I think that's about it. I think I caught it. If I missed any of your questions, I do apologize. We had quite a few people in the workshop today, so I apologize if I missed anything. Feel free to reach out to Heather. Like she said, she's always willing to help.
Always, and our next online course will be on Thursday, May 16th. And we're going to talk specifically about Instagram, how to use Instagram to build your business. Because I could talk for days on each one of these platforms, but these are at least good overviews for you and an opportunity to ask questions. So we hope you'll join us. And I appreciate you, Laura, and thank you for monitoring and having me as a speaker, and looking forward to next month.
All right, everybody, and you will get an email with the recording as well as the presentation. So thanks everybody for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Bye.